Good day, folks. Welcome to Bright Mind Academy, where we bring brilliance to every lesson. In today's video, we're gonna continue where we left off. So you're gonna be dealing with a hyperbolic function as well as a exponential function combined. So given f of x, it is equal to negative 3 divided by x plus 2 plus 1, and g of x, it is equal to 2 to the power of negative x minus 4. So now before I go anywhere, when I interpret here, I know the value of a is less than 0, so it means it should be on quadrant 1, quadrant 2, and quadrant 4 when I draw. Therefore, my vertical asymptote, my asymptote, it is this one, and this one, right? So I know the first one, it is y, it is equal to 1, the straightforward one again. Then the second one, it is x plus 2, it is equal to 0, and x, it is equal to negative 2. This is my second x. So asymptote, these are my asymptotes. Then I know when they want a axis of symmetry, I take this part. All right, if they want negative, I put negative here. If they want positive, I just leave it like that. Then let's move on to this graph. I have 2 to the power of negative x minus 4, right? So this graph, it is a times b to the power of x minus plus q. But one thing I'm realizing is that a is greater than 0, right? A is greater than 0 here because there is nothing here. So it means I'm expecting a graph like this or a graph like that above the what? The asymptote. So, but now if I see something here, you do not work with a function with a negative exponent, right? Rather apply laws of exponent. Remember, a to the power of negative 1, it is the same as 1 divided by a to the power of 1. All right. Or if it is a to the power of negative 3, it's the same as saying 1 divided by a to the power of positive 3. Or you can simplify further, 1 divided by a to the power of cubed, because 1 cubed is the same as 1. All right. All right. Yes. So let's just change this one into 1 divided by 2 to the power of x minus 4. If it is like this, I can see that this is a decreasing function. Why? Because the value of b, it is between 0 and 1. The value of b here, it is between 0 and 1. So I know my function will be more or less like that. All right. Let's I said my function will be like this. Let's answer the first question. Determine f of negative 3. F of negative 3, what do we do here? We just substitute x as negative 3 here. So I'm going to have negative 3 divided by negative 1, which is 3 plus 1, it is 4. So f of negative 3, it is equal to 4. Straightforward. Therefore, determine x if g of x is equal to 4. If g of x it is equal to 4, g of x is equal to 4. So I'm going to say g of x it is equal to 4, but what is g of x? It is this part, or you can use this one, whichever, right? I'm going to use this one. Then I take this 4 to the other side, it is 8, it is equal to what? 1 divided by 2. Oh, actually, let me use this one. I want to show you something. It's going to be 4, it is equal to 2 to the power of negative x minus 4. Therefore, 4 plus 4, it is 8, it is equal to 2 to the power of negative x. Can I make 8 to the base of 2? Yes, I can say 2 to the power of 3, it is equal to 2 to the power of negative x. Therefore, if the base are the same, what do? We do not drop, we equate. We equate the exponents. 3, it is equal to negative x. When I divide both sides by negative, therefore x, it is equal to how much? It is equal to 3. Not 3, rather negative 3. All right? Yes. X, it is equal to negative 3. Write down the asymptote of f. Asymptote of f, I think I wrote them somewhere here. Here are them. Asymptote of f, the first one that I say do, it is y, it is equal to whatever this value is here, right? And this one, if remember here, if it is positive here, if the value of p, remember this is the value of p, if it is positive here is going to be wrong, it's going to be negative, so it's going to be negative 2. But you can also say x plus 2, it is equal to 0, therefore x, it is equal to negative 2. But the important answer is x is equal to negative 2, and I already noted them down because I know they like those questions. All right. Write down the range of G. G, here is G, right? Now remember, I said, all right, if I'm having, when I sketch this function, it's going to be a function like this. Why? Because if I change this part to a positive exponent x, it's going to be 1 divided by 2 to the power of x minus 4. So it's going to be more or less something like this. X, y. This is my y is equal to -4, my asymptote. So if I were to sketch this graph, it's going to be a decreasing function from wherever up to this point. But remember, it does not touch y is equal to -4. So it means, how do I write my range? I'm going to say my range, remember my range starts from the bottom. From the bottom, which part do I meet first? I meet -4. So this is me answering this part. Which part do I meet first from the bottom? I meet the asymptote, right? The asymptote, it is -4. As I go up above the asymptote, what is it that I see? I see that my graph ends to positive infinity there. So it's going to be y is an element of -4 to 0, or someone might say y should be greater than -4. Do not include -4. You do not use this part for -4 here. You also do not use this one. No, you do not. Why? Because it does not touch this point. You only use when it touch that point. All right. Therefore, I'm done with that. I've already drawn a graph here. I'm not sure if they're going to ask it, but it's fine. Let me remove it. Then now, let me remove this one. Oh, remember I said this graph here is going to be a decreasing function. I have already drawn that one also. So 5.5, determine the coordinates of x and y intercept of f. Y intercept of f, x and y intercept of f, right? So let me write down my f of x. It is equal to how much? Was it minus plus 2 plus 1? So I know for y intercept, I'm going to let x equal to 0. Then let me divide this. Let me divide that. Therefore, for x intercept, I let y equal to 0. This line is skewed here. All right, I know this part, it is normally an easy calculation, hence I'm doing that. So now let's calculate. For y intercept, I have to let x equal to 0. So I'm going to say y it is equal to -3. I let x equal to 0, 0 plus 2 plus 1. This one needs your calculator. Oh, let's see. Did they say the coordinates? Yes, the coordinates, all right. So y it is equal to -3 divided by 2, which is -1.5, plus 1, it is -half. All right. Therefore, coordinate it is when x was 0, y was -half. Then I come on this side, I have to let y equal to 0. Remember, this is y, right? So it's going to be 0, it is equal to -3, x plus 2 plus 1. I take this one to the other side, it is -1, it is equal to -3 divided by x plus 1. I normally say do this, divide by 1. Then you have to do what? You have to cross multiply. All right. When you cross multiply, -1 multiplied by x plus 1, it is -1 into x plus 1 is equal to -3 multiplied by 1, it is -3. When I divide by -1 on both sides, what do I get? I get that x plus 1, it is equal to -3 divided by -1, it is 3. Therefore, I get my x is how much? 3 minus 1, it is 2. Therefore, in terms of coordinate, it is when x is 2, what was y? Y was 0. So I'm having my coordinates there. I have my coordinates there. My coordinates are 0 and -half, and what? 2 and 0. So these are my points there. in case they want us to draw. I have them. All right. In case they will ask us to draw, I have them. All right. The next question says now. I'll just go to it right now. It says determine the equation of the axis of symmetry with or of f which has a negative gradient. Remember this question, it is if it is 3 marks, 2 marks, you just have it. Why am I saying you just have it? Remember, you just take this part, x plus 2 plus 1. But now, what do you do with that? Remember, they want with a negative gradient. So if a negative gradient, you're going to say y it is equal to negative. What did you take? At the bottom, what? It was x plus 2. But now, the plus 1, you just take it outside, all right? Therefore, you just do your mathematical gymnastics. Y it is equal to what? Negative x minus plus positive, negative, but divided by positive, it is negative. Negative 2 plus 1, it is negative 1. So this is our answer. Y is equal to negative x minus 1. And it has a negative gradient. You see, our m there, it is equal to negative 1. If they said with a positive gradient, you are going to say y it is equal to just x plus 2 plus 1. All right, yes. 5.7. 5.7 says sketch the graph of f and g on the same set of axes. Clearly show all intercept with the axis and any asymptotes. All right. I'm interested in doing this. Let me just do this. Yo. All right. Not bad. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, where's my asymptote first? All right. Can I see with regards to plus 1 minus 4? All right. Let me do it here. All right. Not that bad. Then this is my x. Please label this is your x. This is your y. All right. Now, can you start first with a graph of a which one? Let's start with an exponential, whichever that you want to start with. Let's start with an exponential here. What about an exponential? It has an asymptote here at negative 4. So we're gonna come here and say, let's say somewhere here this point is negative 4. All right, that asymptote there, it is at negative 4. Or you can say y it is equal to negative 4 here. All right, then now what happens? We have to show the x-intercept and y-intercept, right? So we have to calculate. We have to calculate the x and y-intercept for g of x. So we're going to come here and say g of x it is equal to 2 to the power of negative 2 to the power of negative x minus 4. Am I correct? Yes. Now for y-intercept, what do? We let x equal to 0. So what you're going to do, so you're going to say y it is equal to what? 2 to the power of negative 0 minus 4, which is 1 minus 4, which is y it is equal to negative 3. All right, this is our y-intercept. The first y-intercept, it is in terms of coordinate. When x was 0, y was negative 3. I go and plot it here. Please do these calculations because you were not required to, you were not asked under some questions to calculate this. So you just cannot, you cannot just plot them without showing the examiner that you calculated them first, all right? So 0 and negative 3, if this is negative 4, I might say my negative 3 is here, all right? Or let me just put it maybe here. Then how do I calculate my x-intercept? My x-intercept, I let y equal to 0. How can I do that? I say y equal to 0, 0 it is equal to 2 to the power of negative x This one I did. This one I did. Huh? Oh, I did not. Really? Why does it feel like I calculated it somewhere? But either way, we did not. All right, we did not. Sorry. So it's gonna be when I take this 4 to the other side, it is 4, it is equal to 2 to the power of negative x, right? Then can I make this 4 to have a base of 2? Yes, it is 2 to the power of 2, it is equal to 2 to the power of negative x. Now the base are the same. I'm gonna equate my what? My exponents. 2, it is equal to negative x. Therefore, x I know when I divide by negative, it is negative 2. So let me say negative 2 and something, it is more or less here. This is negative 2 and 0, whereas this it is how much? 0 and negative 3. And now remember the shape. I said the shape, since well our graph, remember 2 to the power of negative x, you have to do it to a positive exponent so that you can see your shape. So the shape, the value of b, it is between 0, I'm starting 0 and 1. So if it is between 0 and 1, it is a decreasing function. In what manner? So it's going to start from whatever top value, wherever here, then it's going to end at the bottom. Remember, it does not touch this line. Oh, what's happening? Sorry, let me fix that. Quickly fix that. All right. So I was saying it's going to start from whatever this maximum value to lowest. So, but I know somewhere, somehow it's going to go all right, like this. And like this. This is my exponential function. Please name it. What was it? Was it f or g? Was it f or g? Let's see. G. All right. Just label it here as g. Now let's draw f of x. 6 marks. You know this 6 marks is worth it. Let's draw a f of x. F of x. F of x, right? Yeah. So f of x. The first thing that we do, it is a see the x and y intercept. Or rather, before doing that, let's see the asymptotes. Rather, the asymptote, it is what? Asymptote negative 2 and 1. So let's go there, negative 2 and 1. Here at negative 2, I have an asymptote. But this is asymptote. Yes, remember, one might say, asymptote, it means this graph should not touch negative 2. But this asymptote is not for that graph. It is for the graph that we're going to draw here. So if this asymptote is not for that graph, the graph can do whatever that it like. All right? Then I know this x, it is equal to negative 2 here, or you can just say negative 2. Then the other one, y is equal to x, y is equal to 1, right? Y it is equal to 1 here. This is my other asymptote. Y it is equal to 1. Now, the value of a, it is less than 0, which is negative 3. Remember, less than 0 means it is negative. So it will be drawn on quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. All right? Quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. Now, before we do that, let's plot first our x and y intercept. X and y intercept for this one, it is 0 and negative half. 0 and negative half. 0 and negative half. Somewhere, negative half, it is here. 0 and negative half. The other one, it is 2 and 0. Let me remove it. 2 maybe here. 2 and 0. So I'll just label them. So if this is 2 and 0, all right, then now we know that we're going to draw in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. So in quadrant 2, I do not have any, what? Any intersect, right? So I'm going to say this is my graph here. This is my graph of f. I'm labeling it. Then the other part will go on quadrant 4. Remember this section here, it is quadrant 1. The section I just drew in, it is quadrant 2. Then this here, it is quadrant 3. I'm looking at the black dot. Then this here, it is quadrant 4. So quadrant 4 is gonna go more or less like it should pass between these 2 points and like this and go there. But is that it does not touch my asymptote. This is my graph. Let me show you clearly what I have drawn here. This is my smooth graph. For 6 marks, this is what you are supposed to draw. If you were doing that question by your own, you are supposed to draw this. All right. So yes, drawing it is very straightforward as long as you know where your asymptotes are at. And the other thing is, let's see how much time you have. All right. So let's do the last question. I won't erase this because the last question might be with regards to this graph. Let me see if I have drawn this graph correctly. Right, I have. Now 5.8 says to us, it is given that f of -1 is equal to g of -1. Right. If this is -2, -1 might be somewhere here. They are telling us, yo, even my sketch that I drew, is the English is saying drew, right? Drew, not drew. Drew, isn't like true or false. Drew. Past tense of drawing. Hey, but mom, this English. So we are told that f of -1 and g of -1, they are equal. Meaning at x it is equal to -1 here. Our graphs are equal. And according to my sketch, that's true. Right? According to my sketch, that's true. All right, but now what happens? It tells us that determine the values of x for which g of x is greater or equal to f of x. So when I translate this, I like to say where g of x is above or equal to what? To f of x. So I'll start with the equal part. Equal part, I know it is where it is here. Equal part, they are equal where? At this point, this portion here, which I do not know its coordinate, as well as this point, right? Then now I want where g of x it is above. Now where is g of x? G of x it is this graph, right? Now look at this point. Let's look at this portion from here to this side, the left hand side of this asymptote. From here, we see that g it is above, right? G it is above f in this portion. You agree with me? G it is above in this portion. Oh, we want where g of x is greater than f of x. Yes, we agree in this portion from here, from wherever to here, to this point here. Do you all agree that g it is above? Yes. G it is G I want it back. G is above, so I'm gonna say this is the first portion. Then as I go down, look what happens. G becomes at the bottom. F is now at the top. G becomes at the bottom until this point. Sorry, until this point. After this point, look at G. G it is now at the top. Look, F it is where? F it is at the bottom. You see? Let me use a different highlighter, for this part A. Let me say, all right. Before the asymptote, we see that G it is above our graph on this section from -infinity to this x value here that we do not know for now. All right. Then another portion again, it is where? It is where from -2 here in our asymptote to what? To this x value here, which we know it is -1. Because this one is the one that is -1. We know the coordinate here, it is -1. The x value, -1 here. All right. So we know between -2 and -1, G is greater than what? G is greater than f of x. Look at f of x, it is below. Then when I move from -1 towards the right, from this point towards the right, can you see that f it is now at the top, which is the section that we do not want. So the section that we want, it is where g of x it is above or equal to f of x. So the first point that we saw, it is this one. All right. The second one, it is here. So let me start by writing the first solution. Let me do this. Let me start first by writing the first. Can you allow me to write this first solution? I'm gonna say ish, x is between what? -2. I know the examiner did the including part, which and I'm supposed to use this, but why am I not using this bracket to -2? Because our graph of f does not look at our graph of f. The graph of f does not touch -2. Why? Because it is an asymptote, so we won't include that. Even though g touches, but since when we are talking about both of them, we won't include it. -2 to what? To this point, which is -1. Can I include -1? Yes. Why? Because -1, both graph touch and there is no asymptote. Right? This is the first solution. The second solution, it is what? The second solution, it is this portion that I do not know its x value. So what I'm supposed to do, let me see if I have enough time. I will be against time. But all right, what you have to do is calculate the x value here. And how can you calculate that? How can you calculate that? You will calculate that by saying, all right, equate f of x to g of x. So after equating f of x to g of x, you'll have something like this: -3 divided by x plus 2 plus 1, it is equal to 2 to the power of -x plus minus 4. Minus 4. Then you will solve for x. The first x that you will get, it is -1, and the second one will be the whatever value that it is. But I don't think at that point it is important. Why? Because now look at what the examiner told us. If it is given that f of x, it is equal to g of x, determine the values of x for which g of x, it is greater than f of x. All right. So if need be, you can calculate whatever this x coordinate is here. X coordinate is there. Then your answer will be x is from what? -infinity to what? To whatever that x coordinate is there. X is an element of yes. So thank you very much, folks. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you see any mistakes, please comment them out, and I will try to fix them. So thank you very much, folks. And also, please kindly subscribe to our channel. Thank you.